Hey, what's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here. Today, I am joined by filmmaker, festival programmer, and the founder of Film Festival Insider, Heather Brittain. Heather has evaluated thousands of submissions as a programmer and currently serves as the vice chair and programmer of the Garden State Film Festival. And today, we are here to talk about Festival Fixr. So excited to talk about this, Heather. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me and for that very warm introduction. I'm really glad to be here.
So, Festival Fixer clearly comes from your real festival experience. When you're programming, what signals to you that a filmmaker really understands the festival landscape even before you hit play on that submission?
Okay, well, right away in the cover letter, and a lot of people think that programmers don't read cover letters. Um, we do. And also, we can tell if it's written by ChatGPT or if it's just a form, like that you just a template and just send it to every festival. We really want to know, why did you pick this festival? Why is your film a great fit for this festival? And be succinct. Don't wax poetic about it in the cover letter, because that's what your director bio, that's what your statement is about in your Film Freeway project page. But just specifically, why this festival? Why do you care about us? And reciprocally, why should we care about you? So just, we want to get to know you. We're potentially inviting you to be a part of our film family. So, make it personal.
And in addition to reading those cover letters, what might be something that filmmakers are surprised to learn about what programmers do?
What would they be surprised to learn? I mean, we actually do watch every film. I see a lot of comments, of course, I'm on Reddit and all the things where, you question whether your film even got watched. I'd say any reputable festival, your film is not only being watched, but it's going to be watched by multiple screeners and or programmers. So we really do watch every film. I'd say so. That's the biggest one. If it's a reputable festival, know your film is going to get watched. And another thing is, oftentimes we don't accept really great films. There are great films that just aren't a fit for whatever reason for that year. Maybe if they had submitted the year prior, it would have worked in better with our programming. Or, maybe this year we just had too many films on this topic, and, our audience can only, has the bandwidth for so much.
Mhm.
Um, gosh, what are they surprised to learn? That's an interesting question. I've never been asked before, but I love it. But we care. I mean, a lot of festival programmers are also filmmakers, so we understand the how it feels. We understand how rejection feels, and we're really genuinely rooting for the film. We want to love that film when we hit play. So we're on your side. It's not an us versus them thing, I think is something maybe a lot of filmmakers don't realize.
So now many filmmakers, and this is to this point, they submit sometimes to these film festivals very widely without much strategy. So
Yes.
from your perspective, what would you say is the difference between a thoughtful festival plan and one that's a little bit more broad-based?
I'd say first and foremost, take your premiere uh, into consideration. Where do you want your film ideally to premiere? And I'm not saying you should sit on your film for a year waiting for Sundance. If it's ready to go, look at other festivals that might be more, lined up strategically, timed right for you. But keep in mind, a lot of the higher tier festivals, they're not going to take sloppy seconds from especially from another regional festival. So
Right.
think about, where do you want your film to screen? Which festivals on your list are maybe a little more lenient with premiere requirements? And really just kind of come up with an actual plan, not just of where you want to screen, but in what order. And of course, you're not going to get into everywhere you submit. A typical acceptance rate is around 5%. And of course, it's going to be lower if you're just aiming really top tier festivals. It's going to be higher if it's a short versus a feature. Features are harder to program. a feature takes up, the space of, potentially 6 to 8 short films. So you're displacing that many other filmmakers. So it just has to be that much better. So different things go into those acceptance ratios. So there's not a true average there. Um, but yeah, keep in mind where you want to premiere, and if I screen there, is it gonna negate this other festival that I really want to get into, and just kind of weigh the options and the timing of it all.
And so now, in all of your work, so talking about Festival Fixer, at what point was the moment that you realized that it's not that filmmakers needed more advice per se, but clearer direction and recognized that AI could be that support?
Well, I do a lot of one-on-one consulting, film strategy with my clients. I have an online course, but really the one-on-one sessions are where I get to really get into it with my clients. And I love that. Like, I'm jazzed up by that. And when those aha moments that are sparked through those conversations with my clients, those aha moments that the clients have, and it's like, oh, now I get it. And it's stuff that when you've been at a festival circuit, several rounds of it even, eventually it's going to click for anyone, but there is a shortcut. Why use all those years trial and error when you can kind of cut through the noise and really just get right to the heart of it? So those aha moments for my filmmakers just like light me up. Like, I'm so excited when things are clicking for them and firing for them. But I'm a one woman show. Like, I can't do that for everybody. And honestly, indie filmmaker budgets, let's be honest, most of them don't have it in there to hire a festival strategist or consultant. So it's a lot of them just are never going to get that kind of advice. So it was kind of a basically that. Like, there's only me. Like, if I could replicate me, wouldn't that be great? And then
Who has time for the surgery?
there you go. Yeah. And then and I wasn't really that into AI before I developed my own custom AI. So I'm not like some tech bro that's created this tool, you know, I'm a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker myself. I'm a programmer, and I created what I wished existed. We just want answers. We're in the middle of the night with our Google spreadsheets and Film Freeway open, and we're like, and we just want answers. And who are you going to call in the middle of the night? There's really no one. Even me. I'm like, okay, call me during business hours. So I created Festival Fixr based on my IP, based on my online course that I've been running for years now, and all the frameworks and strategies that I use with one of my one-on-one clients. I put it into Festival Fixr, and I trained her to basically be me, except she works in like every language. So in
Right.
some ways, she's a little better.
And now AI, it's such a touchy subject right now in our industry, right? Whether it's
Yeah.
filmmaker, journalist, programmer, every right. And I also work in education, so I'm constantly teaching my students how to use AI properly.
Okay. Yes.
So so thinking about that, because that could be, a fear for some filmmakers are like, hey, AI, how does Festival Fixer really help? Because you've talked about how, strategy is something that should be supporting the film, not
Yeah.
reshaping it. So how can Festival Fixer really help, protect that balance?
So yeah, and I understand that fear. Like I said, really until recently, until I decided maybe I could develop my own, uh, custom GPT, basically. I Until then, I was afraid of AI. I was like, that scares me. It's just this whole brave new world, and it's just exponentially getting bigger and smarter, and everyone's just eventually going to be on it. I It scares me when it comes to replacing creators. It scares me, when they want to replace artists in any way, whether it's writing or acting or CGI, all of it. I really want us to be able to continue as artists without feeling like we're being replaced in any way. Where AI comes in as a tool to support artists, which is what I've designed with this, to take more off of our plates. We wear so many hats as independent filmmakers,
Right.
and we're competing with indie films in name only that have these, Hollywood studio budgets at film festivals. Are you kidding me? How are we supposed to compete with that? So I built her really to help take some of the hats off. The art we don't all the publicity we try to do for ourselves. Writing press releases, finding placement for the press releases, depending on the market, it's going to be different every time. How to write really effective log lines and bios, being prepared for Q&A sessions after your film screening, how to build a fan base at these screenings. Oftentimes the communities come out and it's a really great way. These communities, these fans are excited to meet the next, Martin Scorsese. To be there. I was there at that film festival when their film first screened. So, but to really capitalize on those moments, because these screenings, these red carpet moments, they can have longevity. We can transition that into next steps, next levels for our careers. But I feel like all too often, a lot of filmmakers just kind of keep doing the same circuit over and over with their next short film, whereas they could be thinking more strategically and leveling up and doing more, getting the funding for their next film, and growing their fan base and being taken more seriously when they walk into those rooms to begin with.
Yeah, it's an incredible journey. So I know I have to let you go in a minute. So just to kind of wrap this up, although I could chat with you for hours about this and everything else involved in programming, and it's my world and I love
Same.
it. Um, Looking ahead 5 years, what
Mm.
are you hoping that filmmakers and Festival Fixer users will have achieved or learned through this collaboration?
I really hope that they're really learning to submit to festivals that are more in line with not just their genre, but their own personal goals, whether that be to get funding for their next film or whether that be to get notoriety to get in a bigger film festival next round, whether it be to grow their fan base, whatever their goals are, there are different festivals at every level that can serve different purposes. So really finding those festivals that take your film and your career to the next level, and it's not just something that's sitting on your hard drive that you show to your parents. Like it really, or you show to your friends. It's same filmmakers at the same festivals. Really use your film as like an expensive business card, to
Yeah.
take your career to the next place. Um, so yes, you're creating art, but this is a business. If we really want a longevity to keep doing what we love for a living, it is also a business, and we have to treat it that way.
Mm. Words to live by. Well, Heather, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. For those that are more interested in finding out about Festival Fixer and these programs, you can find all of the website links in the description and the YouTube. And Heather, best of luck with the Garden State Festival. I know is coming up in a couple of months, and
Yes, I hope to see you there, March 26th through the 29th in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
and with the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.